There are behaviors so toxic, so subtly destructive, that tolerating them doesn't make you kind. It makes you complicit in your own self-betrayal.
Carl Jung didn't just explore the shadows within us. He warned us about the shadows others bring into our lives. Because some people don't come to love you. They come to feed off your energy, your empathy, your silence. And if you don't set boundaries, you will spend your life managing the damage caused by what you allowed, not what you deserved. Jung believed that what we fail to confront externally will mirror what we suppress internally. So tolerating unacceptable behavior doesn't just poison relationships, it fragments your sense of self. Unacceptable behavior. Number 1, passive aggression masked as care. This is the friend who jokes about your insecurities. The partner who says, "I'm just looking out for you," while subtly undermining your confidence. It's not kindness. It's control, dressed in compassion. Carl Jung believed that repression of hostility leads it to surface in disguised, manipulative forms. And that's exactly what passive aggression is, a hidden attempt to dominate while avoiding accountability. If you find yourself second-guessing whether someone's words were loving or laced with venom, that confusion is the weapon, and your peace is the casualty. Refuse to decode what should be clear. Kindness never needs translation. Unacceptable behavior number 2, backhanded compliments and disguised superiority. This is the person who says, "Wow, I didn't expect that from you, good job." Or, "You actually look nice today." At first glance, it sounds like praise, but it lands like a cut. Carl Jung taught that the ego disguises itself well, and superiority often wears the mask of encouragement. These comments are not innocent. They're engineered to keep you in a smaller role, grateful for crumbs of validation while the speaker maintains the upper hand. Tolerating this slowly erodes your sense of worth. You begin shrinking your wins, downplaying your beauty, questioning your talent, all to make others comfortable. But authentic people don't need to dim your light to feel bright themselves. Unacceptable behavior number 3, using guilt as a leash. "You never call anymore. After everything I've done for you. Wow, I guess you're too busy for me now." These words don't come from love, they come from entitlement. Carl Jung believed that guilt, when manipulated, is not a signal of conscience, but a weapon of emotional blackmail. People who guilt you for having boundaries never respected your autonomy to begin with. They don't want connection. They want control disguised as closeness. And the danger? Over time, you begin mistaking guilt for loyalty. You stay in draining dynamics just to avoid the discomfort of disappointing someone. But peace doesn't come from pleasing everyone. It comes from protecting your energy. Unacceptable behavior number 4, invalidating your emotions to maintain their narrative. Don't be so sensitive. You're overreacting. You're always making things about you. These phrases don't de-escalate conflict. They erase your reality. Carl Jung warned that when we deny the emotional truth of others, we fragment their connection to themselves. And people who do this regularly, they're not trying to understand you. They're trying to rewrite your experience so they don't have to face their role in it. This isn't about conflict resolution. It's about emotional dominance. When someone consistently makes you feel crazy for simply feeling, you're not being loved. You're being gaslit. Protect your truth, because once you start doubting your feelings, you start surrendering your power. Unacceptable behavior number 5. Helping you, only to hold it over you. This is the person who says, "Remember who was there for you when no one else was." Or, "If it weren't for me, you wouldn't be where you are." Their help is never free. It's a currency, and you're expected to pay with loyalty, silence, or obedience. Carl Jung believed that true giving is egoless. When help becomes leverage, it's no longer generosity. It's manipulation. You begin to feel indebted, trapped in a cycle where any boundary becomes betrayal, any disagreement becomes disloyalty. Real support uplifts. It doesn't trap you. It doesn't invoice you emotionally every time you assert your independence. You don't owe permanent access to someone who helped you temporarily. Unacceptable behavior number 6. Disguising criticism as just being honest. You've heard it before. "I'm just telling you the truth." Don't take it personally. It's just facts. This is for your own good. But when honesty lacks compassion, it becomes cruelty, dressed as clarity. Carl Jung taught that projection is one of the ego's strongest defenses. Often those who claim to be brutally honest are simply offloading their own unresolved judgment, projecting their inner conflict onto others under the banner of truth. There's a difference between constructive feedback and veiled hostility. And deep down, you know the difference. You feel it in your gut. True honesty builds. It doesn't bruise. Protect yourself from those who confuse bluntness with wisdom. Their sharpness isn't strength. It's unresolved pain with a voice. These behaviors, though often subtle, chip away at your confidence, clarity, and connection to self. Carl Jung believed that the unconscious becomes dangerous only when we refuse to confront it. And tolerating these patterns allows them to take root in your psyche, creating a life filled with resentment, self-doubt, and inner fragmentation. It's not your job to fix people who refuse to grow. It's your responsibility to protect the sacredness of your own mind. Because every time you let a red flag slide, you're not being nice. You're abandoning yourself. Raise your standards. Not because you're better, but because you're finally awake. You were not born to tolerate what wounds you. You were born to walk in truth, live in peace, and never shrink to fit into someone else's comfort. Carl Jung didn't just teach us how to understand the shadow. He taught us how to stop letting it run our lives.